This is Damon Stevens with FinWealth Builders. Today is Wednesday, December 1st, 2021. Welcome to a new month of trading. The market was very interesting today. As we said in the video last night, where's the market headed towards? Where's the bottom? And so tonight, now that we've seen the market did come down, we're going to talk about, is the bottom close now? So hopefully you're safe in your trades today. Hopefully locked in profits before the downturn. We talked about the video last night that the market may pop up in the morning and then most likely come down for the day, and that's exactly what it did. So hopefully you were safe out there, and hopefully you're profitable as well, especially if you're short of the market, taking advantage of UVXY as we had the spikes in the VIX. And so let's get right into the charts and take a look at what's going on and what we can expect hopefully over this next few days. So looking at the the market here, Dow Jones closed down 1.34%, NASDAQ down 1.83%, and S&P 500 down 1.18%. So big roller coaster we've been on, and we're down today. We started out good, but down at the end of the day here. And you see on our map here that we're pretty much down across the board, except for a little bit of healthcare. You see China had just, Taiwan has just a little bit of peace, but overall, the world's pretty much down across the board again. So just something to be aware of. And be careful out there as you're trading, and also making sure that you're watching your portfolios and deciding when you want to lock in and when you want to hold, and then talk about where the market's going. So ABUS was the stock of the day at the top of the list of our scanner. You see here you got a little bit of a pop, $3 up to $6.50. And then it just tapered off. So, a lot of these, we talked about these small caps or these smaller stocks, and you usually get one day out of most of them. So always be careful with that. If you're looking to trade them, make sure that if it's a multi-day trade, that you're seeing the momentum and action stay in throughout the rest of the day and into the next day. So just be careful out there with these. ADGI was one from the other day. This is a multi-day trade. You can see here that it basically came down in the evening. In the first day, part of the morning, it hit 41.21, bounced up through this triangle that we have here up to 49.98, and then pulled back down into this triangle here. So you can see we had this little wedge here, that this was kind of the trading zone for ADGI. So hopefully you got that. It came back down here. I don't know if we're going to get another trade out of this. It could consolidate in here, and then it's probably going to bounce down or up. So my guess is it probably bounced down. But we'll watch it and see, but just it's going to be so narrow possibly here before it breaks out. May not be another trade on this one for now. Apple, we talked about this in last night's video, that we were honoring this upper trend line and also lower trend line, and that we hadn't quite got here to this 170 mark, which was the goal. And guess what? We hit the goal. It was brief, but we did hit that goal of that 170 mark, and you can see right here just barely touched it, and then it pulled back quite a bit as the market pulled back. So is this it for Apple? Hard to say. We're going to have to watch this one now that we you can see that the trend is you tap it, comes down, you tap it, comes down again. So can we hold this in and we continue to rally up here? Hard to say, but we'll watch it and see. But congratulations on those holding Apple. And Apple, this was a great trade. Saw this momentum all the way up here. We talked about it reaching this goal here and hit the mark, and that's what you want to see. Moderna, we talked about this one as well. I mean, with all the news out there, with things going on in the world, these stocks kind of rallied and then they kind of petered out. And you can see here, that Moderna is coming back and looks like it's trying to fill this gap now, and it's showing that weakness. So we might come down here and fill this gap in 283, about the area where it's going to fill that gap. And so we'll see if it continues to go down there. Actually ended on the tail end there, so it is showing weakness still, so it very well could do that. BNTX, you see here that it pulled back as well. So we'll see if it pulls down here. There's a gap here. I don't have it marked out here, but there's a gap right here just that it may fill. But weakness in BNTX pretty much across the board anyway. But In backs, you can see here it continued to pull back. It's right on the 50 here. So we'll see if we can bounce off that and get support. Tesla, you can see here that Tesla pulled down almost towards this 100 and then bounced off of it and tried to close above the 50, didn't make it, still just under the 50 here. You can see that it's done that before as well. And so when you see this, when it comes down and rallies back up, that's what you want to see, because that means the bulls wanted to stay alive. And you can see here we have this big breakdown candle. We talked about this last night, that, are we going to chase up this candle? That was the question. And at first, it didn't look like we were. It looked like we were going to break down here, but you can see we just started chasing this candle. So now that we are closing above this and in this range of candle, what we're going to look to see is if we do get a lot of weakness, maybe it'll pull back down here. If it breaks this support line at 1093, watch out. We could be coming down here to the 100. But if not, look for a rally going towards this 1146 to close up here this whole candle. That would be my play for Tesla if it plays out. Just something to be aware of. Shop, you talked about this. The trend's just kind of going down, and we're honoring this trend line as we go down. So you can see here there's continued weakness on Shopify after hitting this high up here. So Shopify, I'm not trading it. I wasn't shorting it. I know some people are, but I'm not shorting this one, but definitely kind of tracking it to see where we come down and find some level of support where we could possibly bounce out of here and head back up. As far as earnings, Wednesday is supposed to be one of my busiest days here. Thursday, there's some as well. The only one I really looked at was Okta. I'll be watching in the morning as well. Had a nice earnings, actually Snow. Sorry, I didn't mean Okta. Snow was the one. And so here's the chart. You can see here this big pull down, including today. It just sold off all day long down to 305, and then you can see right after hours with the earnings report, boom, back up to 365. Pretty much, let me put this line in here for you so you can just have this reference. Pretty much right back here where we broke down is where it went up to and spiked. Of course, it didn't stay there. It retraced a little bit, and now we're sitting about right here, kind of in this mid-range right here. So the question is, do we rally back up tomorrow, back to this 365, or do we kind of break down here, maybe closer to this the 200 here? If we come down the 200, we're right at this last breakdown level where we kind of consolidated. So I could definitely see it coming down to here, possibly before rallying back up. So watch for some price action tomorrow, and this being the range here. So just for reference. Looking at the rest of our stocks, our daily stocks, DXY, you see here the dollar is kind of sitting here flat right in the middle of that range. The VIX spiked way up, so you can see here 3261. That's where I told you if the VIX spikes, we're going to come down, and that's exactly what we did. So just something to be aware of. The SPY, you can see here we broke through that 50. And after looking pretty good, and then broke down, and we're right above between the 50 and the 100. So my question is, we come down the 100. You can see that back early October, we were in there right on that our trend line and the 100. Typically, it's been the 50, but once we broke the 50 today, obviously we came down. And I told you last night in the video that this was a little teaser here, that we had not just closed on that 50, we broke just below it, and that possibly that means it's a little bit of a signal for us, or teaser, that the market's planning on coming down. And it bumped up in the morning, and then boom, that's exactly what it did. So are we going to come down and close this down here? My guess is we possibly could. Now this is around 445. It's interesting they closed at 450. That's a nice round number. I didn't know that we'd get all the way there, but we did. 450 is a nice round number. 445 would be, not necessarily as round of a number, but definitely the level we could be coming down to tomorrow. And hopefully we bounce off. We found support before. If we follow the trend, if we come down here, we should be able to bounce off. Also, the thing to note too, I haven't marked it out yet. I'll go ahead and do that now for your reference. We have this big candle now, big breakdown candle. And so it's very easy that we could also see either a gap up in the morning, or you could see a rally to start climbing back up this candle. But, my question is there unfinished business down here? So even if we did rally up, are we going to come down again like we did today? You rally up and come down, curve back down, and you tag this. Or do we gap down in the morning and tag it and then rally off of here? Hopefully so. But if we do break this level, this 445 level, just be really careful because it's a long way down here to the 200. And I hate to see us come down there. Could the market take us there? We could. The news hasn't been really that great lately, and so the market's using that as a good excuse to sell off, and that helps the market overall to move money around and also to take profits at the end of the year. And December typically has been a rally month, so my question is, do we come down, tag this line, and then re-rally for the rest of December? That's what I would hope for. Does it happen? I'm not sure. There's unforeseen things that can happen, but that's my guess. Just give you my 2 cents on that. So the SPY, here's the intraday chart. You can see here, this is what we talked about. We rallied up, hit the top of our trend line, which we were here, right? Pulled down here, and we rallied up here, and here's the top. That's where we topped out today, right on the upper trend line, and then it was just a sell-off right back down to the trend line where we were before. I don't like that it broke through the trend line. I was hoping that it was going to find resistance right here and our support and stop. It didn't. So is this another, signal that maybe there's some more downside that we're going to go and go down and maybe tag 445, or do we pull up here maybe and curve up and then go down and tag 445? So that's my question as far as on a shorter time frame. Is that what's going to happen tomorrow? So just be aware of it. It could come up and do that. If it did, I could see this possibly gapping up to 447 and then coming down. Or if it doesn't do that, I could just see it just gapping down or going right straight down. So just something to be aware of on the SPY. So watch the VIX for weakness. So triple Qs, 50, which is not far, just like the SPY, for triple Qs, the 50 is not that far away. So we could come down easily and tag that and then hopefully rally off of that. Semiconductors, it would possibly be this 20. So this would be the mark here around $300 that come down and pop off. If you look at the IWM, then it really sold off here. We talked about this last night. It's just really sold off. So congratulations if you're short this or had puts on it. But you see here, just barely, just stopped just short of, this trend line, lower trend line, but did blow through the 200. So, this to me is a tease. You can see here the 200 was good support. So as long as all of our indexes here are all hitting those support lines and our trend lines, we should be able to bounce off and rally. And so maybe this was just a dip. Hopefully that's all it is. Dow Jones, DIA, blew through. Look at, again, just barely above the 200. So looking to see if we gap down in the morning or pull down and just pop off here and rally off of this for a December rally. That's what I'm looking for. Financials got a little bit longer to hit the 200, so it could rally off from here, but it's possible that it drops and dips before that, or that we gap right up over the 50 and run. So something to watch for. Gold, talked about this as well. We came up off this wedge, we broke out of it, now we're coming back down. Now it looks like it's finding support here. It pulled off, so it may not come all the way down and touch our line here. So hopefully we can rally from here back up. Silver showing weakness as well. Looking to see if it can hold support and rally from there. Bitcoin totally flat right now. It's just nothing right now. So just kind of watching it. Ethereum, here's where it tagged the trend line and came up, and now we're still just waiting to see if it's going to come up and grab that 5,000 mark is what we're looking for. Luna blew right through. So it hit our trend line 3 times and blew right through it on the 4th. So we're doing really well here. I was expecting us to get up to 70. It hasn't quite yet, so maybe we'll hit 70 and then possibly pull back here. So Luna's looking great as far as cryptos. So that's our stocks. That's our short list. Be really careful tomorrow. Watch the scanner. Scanner hopefully give us some additional opportunities. But otherwise, just watching these levels to hit support hopefully and bounce off, and then start our December rally. If they break through it, then just be careful because it's a long way down, and that means we have some huge pains to come. So just be careful out there. Be careful with your trading, and we will talk tomorrow night. See how our day went.